speaking of crypto, let's talk about Mastercard. So that's another news that came out last week. I did a post on Instagram about that. So Mastercard announced that they will soon be offering crypto services to their merchants. It's going to be a big thing. With you're going to have different components of the crypto, from crypto wallets to credit cards to ATM machines and debit cards. So once again, it's just another, I think, validation for the space. But Mastercard, I want to ask, how does this affect Mastercard? Does this affect Mastercard? Are you bullish on Mastercard? Don't care about Mastercard? That's the first question.
Yeah.
Bullish on Mastercard?
Visa's better. I remember last year, I said, if you guys want to make your own makeshift credit card ETF, just buy Visa, Mastercard, and then 10% of American Express. Visa has a very interesting history, but Mastercard is solid. It is B. So Visa's Giannis. Mastercard will be Chris Middleton. Shout out Chris Middleton. But have them both in your portfolio, and then you'll be fine. But the run that they've been on since April of last year, from 21 to 75, has been absolutely amazing. I wouldn't get out of that anytime soon. And then the all-time low was 1991, the actual price a few years ago. It should hit $115 in the next 12 or 13 months. You'll be good. So there are some cheap ones that are there. And you can't tell me, if you guys are like, hey, Mastercard is at $75, it's too much. Please stop telling me stocks that cost less than any J's you will wear cost too much. Tell me, and I'm seeing some of y'all at these meetups, like, what Balenciaga's on that chains on. I'm like, and we have to, and I know, because the thing with stocks is that you can't show it off. This is for the fellas, to get women. But you can if you pull up your damn portfolio. Now, I don't want you to be a simp and a lame and actually pull up your portfolio in front of anybody. But
hey, by the way, I'm invested in.
I'm invested in this. Look like a real Poindexter. Or Brittany Renner may finesse you out that money. But you need to start putting your money into things that are going to grow. And I'm tired of us looking like we're rich as hell, but then have none of the actual net worth. Because then when it's time to actually buy some companies, small countries, when it's time to do these deals, you guys don't have the capital. Focus on the long term, please.
I'm with you.
I'm with all the wealth is.
Yeah, I mean, the whole space is an opportunity, right? Like, a lot of people are looking at it like, all right, well, Bitcoin's coming and debit cards are coming forward, but I hear opportunity. I hear like people saying, look, how do I get an ATM so that I can make business off this, right? So there's opportunities in it. I just think of when I see more validation coming into the space, it makes me remember of how the space originally started. It was like, yo, we're going to be decentralized. Look, it's going to be untraceable. And now, like, the validation.
I told you guys, but that's a fallacy. There is no business in which the government won't get a piece of that action. For those of you that are in the sports betting, like, we have to pay a VIG. There is no decentralized currency in which the government does not act like a mafia and cannot get a percentage. It's impossible.
That's what I'm hearing. When I hear Mastercard, that's what I'm hearing.
But also from a safety perspective, people want an avenue to go. Let's say if you're 35 and up and you're new to the space, if Visa does it, if PayPal does it, if Square does it, and Square is still newer, you need trusted sources. Because, like, even with me, like, every time that I look back and see what the value of what I had of Bitcoin is in 2013, I get sick. I thought Mt. Gox was safe. It was reported as safe at the time, had a great team, but the attacks. And even though people in the last year that have put their Bitcoin into service providers that were deemed or looked like other ones that were legit, and they lost everything. So you, like, at least with Visa, you can track and have a chance to get your money back. I was reading on IG the other day that it was a guy who lost $600,000 in Bitcoin in a transaction that he thought was legit and wasn't. And they're trying to claw to get it back. But once it's gone, or for the people who actually lost their wallets, it's tough. So store your crypto on a wallet that you own. Do not keep them on other platforms, because it can be dangerous. Or if they go out of business, then what? You're in trouble.
Yes. So
you said you're bullish on Visa?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it had a nice. I'm saying that because I was invested in Visa. I got it in probably like at 197, And so it had a nice pullback. And so if there's anybody that's looking to say, all right, is it a good time to buy in Visa? Nice pullback down to like what, 213, 214.
Yeah, if it goes to 198, get some more and you'll be good. And please write this down. A lot of you guys keep asking, should you dollar cost average or buy at specific price points? Both. The most important thing that you can do is buy every single month if you actually want to be rich and wealthy. If you do put rich and wealthy, or put rich forever, shout out Ross. If you want to be rich forever,
let's do that.
Tune into the episode. You have to buy it has to be the first bill. And Shadi and I talked about this maybe 8 weeks ago. But for the fellas, like if you've been in a relationship, and let's say you love somebody and you date it, look at all the money you spent on, for those of y'all that trick off heavy, bags, cars, apartments, and look at that versus what the return you would get investing in some of these. A lot of times we're not putting our money into these companies because our history with this country is so broken. We are spending money to try and get love, when if we love ourselves, a lot of the actions that we take will be dramatically different. Like even in this country, we wear loud clothes, loud brands. I was in Gucci just browsing last week. I'm like, this looks like all the old iceberg from 01. The Burberry looks like old iceberg because they're targeting us at a point in time when they didn't even want us to wear their brands. But I want to switch from being a materialistic society, which we're going to see a lot of in the metaverse, to focusing on actually having money. And it doesn't have to be like, well, if you invest, you can't have anything nice. But be honest with me, put this in chat. Are you currently at the net worth that you want to be right now? Put yes in chat if you are, and no if you're not. Because everybody can get fancy shit. And we all know, you guys told me the conversation about the dude that tuck his chain in. It's a lot of lying going on and manipulation. And that's why I tell you guys, like, you guys don't, and for those investors and traders who may not like me, you don't have to like me to profit off of my advice. And I know there's a lot more brand equity in me being more personable, not grumpy. But for me, my favorite artist, Tupac, another favorite artist, Dick Gregory, they built their entire legacy off being honest. There's tons of people who have bullshitted you and told you this is the way. But prior to 2019, they were not investing. Where were they at in 2010? I couldn't pay 15 Black people in 2010 to talk about investing. So please put your money, easy formula, put 50% of your money away every single month into these companies. And if I've made you money, please put yes in chat. Market Mondays, I'm going to put on a real show for y'all too. So get those tickets to the Apollo.
You don't say.
So let me ask you this. Visa, you like Visa over American Express?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's another one that we gave. Obviously, I mean, everybody who's listened to Earn Your Leisure knows that, I've been a customer since 1985, obviously, because I was an authorized user. But last June, when they made the announcement that they were going to now allow China to be using the card, and it was at $97, I said, this is an opportunity, right? They have a population over 1 billion, almost 2 billion people. Their consumer spending is at a different level, especially luxury items, specifically luxury items.
Yep.
If not more, as equal to the United States or any country for that matter.
It's the most important market of all, for sure.
And so having them on board, and we've seen, if you look at the chart, what it's done since last June, you can see that revenue has just grown ever since June 2020.
Yeah. Shout out to Visa. Their symbol is V, and their 10-year chart is
V. Amazing. And AXP is for American Express. It's more widely used, but just on the credit card side, I looked it up. Visa has 110 million users just on credit. That doesn't include debit. American Express has 109 million. So I would assume with debit cards included, Visa probably has 210 million people using it worldwide. Now, the answer is not one or the other. It's usually both. Like even in crypto, shout out to Kayla, like her formula is Bitcoin, ADA, Ethereum. For me, long term is 2 tech, 2 index. But so Apple and Microsoft. I never want to pit, and even with us, like most people would have said, well, they have a media company and I'm an investor. I'm going to compete and we're going to cross over. The best thing to do is to collaborate. There's way more money. And to be honest, in our community, we're the only group of people that don't collaborate. And the reason why there was so much tension between Steve Jobs and Bill Gates is because Bill Gates at one point owned 15% of of Apple when they came back. Usually there's a lot of back-end deals on media, tech. They share data. Yes, Apple and Google may have some friction at times, but more often than not, it's better for two kingdoms to work together to overtake the world than compete. Because just like in rap beef, there's no money. I mean, maybe Hit 'Em Up made money, but some of those things cost Tupac his life, Biggie his life, and that destroys a lot of record labels and it makes it tough. There is no money in war unless you're selling arms. And even those businesses that are publicly traded are not doing as well. So please write this down. There is more money in collaboration and more money flows into the ecosystem when people collaborate.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.